Hey, how's it going guys? Crimsonpanda here, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 4 very different comps that people have been playing over the last couple of weeks in January. I hope you can find someone here that you want to play. If you do, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you have any other comps that you want me to showcase on the channel as well, then don't forget to leave that in the comments down below. Now let's head over, take a look at these comps, and hopefully we can find one that you want to play. Okay, so to kick things off here, we have a Valera OTK comp. Now, the reason it's called Valera OTK is because you can kill Valera on turn 1 with it. So we start with the Grom, Samurai, and Valera. Now, the way we kill Valera first turn, the only time we wouldn't is if they have a Cornelius. So we will Gromosh. Now he is going to Stagger and Slam for 30 damage to Valera. Then Valera comes in with a Sinister Strike dealing 22 damage, 26 if maxed. And then Samurai comes in with his double strike dealing another, I believe it's 33 damage. So this is over like 80 to 90 health that you're going to be able to kill the Valera on the first hit. The only way you wouldn't is if, like I said, they had a taunt up that stops Samurai's attack going through. That is the only reason I found so far. As of the bench, we're just running the standard Karen Diablo cookie. Now, the reason we're running Karen Diablo cookie is because of the amount of nature bench that people are playing at the moment. The Diablo is just too strong not to include when you're going up against late game cookie Brucan builds. So, yes, they have maybe a Malfurion in there giving them heals, but with the slow into the fish and the earth stomp turn, it's just too good not to do against those nature builds. So that's the reason we're running that in the backline. So we'll run through the equipments. So we have Halting Sash with Grom. Sam, I'm running the Burning Blades because you need those extra couple of procs. The Sash, obviously, if people are using Diablo, they're going to benefit from that. So you kind of, depending on what you're playing against mainly, is if you want to jump between Sash and Burning Blade. But I feel Burning Blade's better just for that OTK, for that Valera on the first turn. Valera's Unnatural Smoke. Karen's Resurrection, or Reincarnation, sorry. Black Soulstone for Diablo, and Cookie's Appetizers. Now moving on to build 2. Now build 2 is my favourite. I've actually posted a video on this one separately because of how much I enjoy this build. Now this is a nature Valera build. Now we're starting with Brucan, Cornelius and Valera. The reason being is because Cornelius can actually protect Brucan and Valera so much, and that allows your Brucan to scale with the lightning bolt on the first couple of turns. So that your chain lightning is coming out at 22 damage AoE double bounce, which is so strong, especially against the reds. So you're dealing like over 88 damage to the reds, and then you're still hitting other things as well, which is insanely powerful. And then once you're Cornelius, because he is usually the one that dies off first, once he dies, you have such a diverse bench that you can bring out. You can either bring out your Malfurion for heals on your Valera and your Brucan, plus you've got the speed increase as well with the Scenario Surge and the Valera, allowing you to get an Archdruid call off at 1 speed if you absolutely need it. Or you could even bring out a cookie, and if you're against like their final 3 at this stage, you're going to have a massive bleed. So unless they're running cookie or some sort of heal comp where they're going to heal their bleed, then this bleed against all of their other stuff is just insane. And then obviously we are running Illidan as well on our bench because a lot of people like starting with Illidan. And obviously you can if you need to, if you know what you're up against. But I like using it on the bench, once again, because of that double blue ender with the cookie Brucan that I've seen a lot recently. Now, let me run through the equipments. So we have the Lightning Rod with Brucan, because of the extra bounce is just so good. Cornelius has Shield of Dawn for less damage taken. Valera's Unnatural Smoke. Cookie's Appetizers. Malfurion's Light Roof Staff. And Illidan is actually, you can use any of these. I've been using the Wardlays recently because I need that double hit on the left minion, and I have been in my other video been using the Demon Shroud because of the less attack, taking the less damage while attacking. But that's not as important now when I'm using him on the bench. If you was to start with him, I would definitely recommend using the Demon Shroud over the Wardlays. But if you're using him on the bench like I am, then chuck it on the Wardlays. Okay, now moving on to comp 3. So comp 3 we have is Tyrion Frost. Now, the reason this build is so good, it might be a little bit underwhelming at the start of the game, but coming towards the late game is really strong. So we're starting with Tyrion, Varden, and Jaina. Now what this does is you use Vardant and Jaina to scale up with Icy Flows for the frost damage and Vardant's Flurry to just do those AoEs, especially to Valeera, slowing her down a little bit, also hitting her while stealth. And then we're using Tyrion to just basically try and get an attack off on turn 1, obviously, and then turn 2 we're going in for a Judgment of Humanity so that we can slow down some of their big punchers, basically some of their big attackers. It works really well. Now the fun thing about this comp is that every single starting one you do not want to kill. So you don't want to kill Tyrion because the Ashbringer is going to give everything 8/8, which turns out to be really annoying. You've got Vardant. Now his Chilling Amulet is going to freeze a character for their next turn, plus dealing 8 AoE, which is really annoying. And then the thing that they're probably going to go for is Jaina, but she physically can't die on turn 1 because of the ice block. So you're going to get a little bit of scaling. You're going to get a few little free hits in with this starting lineup. Now the fun thing about this as well is that once Tyrion dies, you are scaling your Illidan on your bench, which is really good in the late game, being able to Blade Dance for 20 damage across the board against those blues. It's dealing 40, which Cookie, Brukan, that everybody is showing up a lot of recently. Also in the Frost in the early game, if you're up against the mirror match and you need to chip down some of these guys as well, having that Illidan in there to come out and just do some winged attacks, do some blade dances, it's really good. And then we're still running the Karen Diablo bench as well because of all of those blues. It's just the nature blues are just making a comeback, I think. So having those in there to be able to counter that is really good. So we'll just run through the equipment. So Tyrion, like I said, we're running Ashbringer. Varden, we've got the Chilling Amulet. Jaina, we got the Ice Block. Karen's Reincarnation, Diablo's Soulstone, and Illidan is once again your choice. I like the Wardlaves. Getting a double hit if they end up positioning wrong turns out to be really good. They have to really think about where they're putting stuff, not just for, you know, their blues, but for their reds as well, because you're going to just double hit something and hitting that leftmost minion. If you get a blue off that, it's dying. So I prefer the Wardlaves over the Demon Shroud, but if you're against a lot of fighters and you know you're going to be taking quite a lot of damage, then maybe consider it. But it's only when you're attacking. It's not just a standard passive take less damage. So that's why I prefer the Wardlaves. Okay, and now moving on to our fourth and final comp. Now this is Holy. Now you've probably seen this build, exactly this build, somewhere else before. That's because this is an old build, but for some reason it seems to be making a comeback. Now I thought people would start MAF again, MAM, using the Malfurion, Mukla, Anduin starts, but it turns out that the Cornelius against those double fighters is just too good to ignore. We're obviously starting with Anduin, Cornelius, and Velen as the openers. So what we're going to want to do on the first turn is obviously you're going to Cornelius for the taunt. Hopefully they get a hit in first, especially if they're using a Grom build, because you get the buff and the heal from the hold the front, which scales Anduin straight away. They're probably going to want to try and slow down Cornelius, so you might not get the heal there, but you will get the heal from the penance. And then obviously we're just using the Holy Blast with Velen on turn 1 until we can start getting that Velen Blessing and Holy Novaroth. So the idea behind this is to try and scale up Anduin as much as we can so that their Valeera is not targeting him. 9 times out of 10 they're targeting Cornelius because Cornelius is going to be the lowest health thing. It's actually on par with the Velen. So they're going after Anduin first because it is the lowest health, but once you've taunted and getting some health on it, it usually scales past Cornelius and Velen. So our bench is once again Karen Diablo Cookie. Now it's a normal bench. I was trying out with the nature bench, having Malfurion and Brukan in there with the Cookie because of the extra heals from Malfurion, but we had no greens, and it turns out you need greens on this blue bench lineup that people are bringing. So if you're going up against a Brukan and you've got no greens, it's impossible to kill that Brukan, especially if they're running a Malfurion with heals with it. So the Karen Diablo Cookie is just working. Once again, it's completely optional. This is just what I'm using because of that's what I'm going up against, and I'm currently 8,000 rating by, if anyone was wondering. But yeah, I just like the Karen Diablo Cookie until something better comes along, which the nature is doing well, and you can use nature versus nature. It just seems to be a little bit more grindy in those PvP matches. And the Karen Diablo Cookie, everybody knows how to play, everybody knows what to expect, so it's nice and easy to pilot as well. So we'll run through the equipment. So we've got Ring of Purity with Anduin. Cornelius, we've got the Shield of Dawn. Velen, we've got the Tomb of Inspiration because we want those extra heals on our characters. We don't need the Death Rattle because 9 times out of 10 they're not killing Velen until the very end anyway. We've got Karen's Reincarnation, Diablo's Blackstone, Cookie's Appetizers. Now, I hope you like these builds. Like I said, some of them are a little bit old. Some of them do run Karen Diablo Cookie quite a lot, but that just is what's good at the minute for January. I hope you enjoy them. If you do, don't forget to leave a subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and if you have any questions at all, I will reply to you or try to reply to you. I read every single comment, so make sure you put one down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, 2, 2, and 2, so he's probably running Valera, so hopefully we can get the OTK off here. Okay, Grom, Valera, nice. And Blink Fox opener, okay. So what we want to do is we want to target everything onto Valera. This should kill it. Okay, our Valera probably will die here because it's going to be attacking into... Oh no, wait, nice. Wait. So yeah, there's the OTK. Doesn't look like he's running... He might be running a nature bench. We'll keep Valera in the middle for a minute. Karen Diablo Cookie bench, okay. So we can actually go after this and kill it. Do we want to do that though? Because that's going to bring his Diablo out. I don't know if we want to do that. This is attacking Grom for 12. This is AoE in for 20. We ain't got any heals. Is it worth just sticking this as doing nothing? Maybe just do that. We don't want to attack because it will die. Oh, it does die anyway. It gets the cleave. Okay. He slowed us down, so next turn he's going for a big turn. So if we just bring these out, this might die, hopefully. Could slow someone for next turn, which would be probably this, right? Okay, he's going for an attack. Okay. So he slowed this in a big way. So he's going 3-3. I just kill this, don't I? And that kills that, hopefully. 6 should do. And this hits here. Okay, that should just clear up some of his stuff. Okay, we're slow, but I don't think that matters too much. I think we prioritize this cookie. Okay. Oof. Nice. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we start with our Tyrion Frost. Okay, I guess we're going after Natalie because she's going to try and heal up quite a bit. See if we can maybe kill her off. I mean, it's the one you kind of don't really want to go for in a way because of the Illidan's going to be able to sort her out, but... yeah, they always go for Jaina. You might be able to get a death rattle off, but it's going to heal for a 6, isn't it? It went for a shadow beam, actually. So it's not going to have the heal. It's going to have a 2-speed heal. It's going to be a 2-speed heal. It's going to get a 57. It's going to take 15, 24, 57, and then another 24. It's not going to be enough. Guess we still just swing for 7 speed. Okay, get the freeze off them. Nice, we do get the death rattle. The death blow. Okay, I guess we Karen here because we don't want to bring Illidan out until Tyrion dies. Keep the bubble in the middle. Okay, so we can set this to 1. This doesn't die, right? So this gets hit here and then hit here for 6. So are we going to win the 50? You can give it 8-8 and Divine Shield. Set that to 1 maybe. It's going to hit here and then this is going to hit here. So it's going to do 24, so we can't give it 8-8. Actually, we could bubble it. We bubble it again, it's probably going to get slowed down by this. That seems good. Oh, it didn't pop that bubble. Okay, never mind. Thought he was going to go and pop the bubble and not go for an AoE there. But he's slow as hell now, so we can clear up some of this stuff. So he's got 6, 5, and 6. This should kill that and get the bubbles as well. We'll sacrifice ourselves as well, bringing up that Illidan with a buffed attack against 2 of his blues, which is going to be insanely strong. Nice. Is it going to be Brucon? It's going to be Cookie and probably Blink Fox, isn't it? So we don't really want that in the middle. Okay. So we slow for a start. We can go for a crit on the Diablo. And then go for a 40 across the board. Seems really strong. And then refresh nothing. Possible concede. He's going to be quick. So is it pointless doing the speed? Just attack some stuff. Nothing's going to die here, is it? Ooh, close. Yeah, that could have died if he did the 0. But it didn't matter. Easy.